Hey, Freddy with CJ Off-Road. Many of you know the factory exhaust on the JK Wrangler is big, ugly, and quiet, and that is just not acceptable. So today we're going to make our Jeep look and sound better by installing this Gibson axleback exhaust. I have Sean here from Gibson. What can you tell us about this?
Well guys, what you see here, it's a black ceramic coated split rear exhaust. It's designed to increase the sound, increase the style with some double walled intercooled stainless steel tips, also black ceramic coated. The system utilizes one of our CFT muffler designs, so it's got a louvered X with no packing inside, so the sound will remain the same. It's not going to burn out, it's not going to get louder over time, it's not going to resonate. And this thing is 100% made in the USA. We put our last name on all the parts that we do because we're going to stand behind it and provide a lifetime guarantee on this thing. So if anything were to happen, hanger were to break, muffler were to rattle, anything along those lines, we've got your back for as long as you own this vehicle.
Right on. Let's get to the installation. Tools you'll need for this installation: 3/8 ratchet, 15mm socket, 1/2 socket, 9/16 socket, a 1/2 wrench, and you might need an exhaust hanger removal tool. So we got the Jeep up in the air. Sean, what's the first thing we do?
Well, right on. We're going to pull this factory system off of here. What you're going to want to do is lubricate a couple of the hangers, helps them, slide out a little bit easier. I mean, you might need to use a pry bar to kind of pop some of them off. They do have a special tool you can buy, which is like a little plunger type of pair of pliers, which you can plunge those things off with. However, you're going to grab a 15mm socket, unbolt this thing right here at the at the over axle pipe at the factory connection, and literally at that point, with a couple wiggles and yanks, this thing's going to fall off. I would suggest that you help me with this one because it is quite heavy.
Right.
Definitely don't want to drop it on my toe.
Let's get to it.
Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, yank. All right, guys, you can see the comparison between the factory system and our system. Obviously, the Gibson exhaust is a much more compact muffler and a more compact system. You can see the factory system has a single exit, where ours actually has a dual exit with our 4.5-inch intercooled tips. The muffler itself is going to sit up much higher, so you will have more ground clearance from the muffler can itself. However, the tips will come out the back. They're not going to hang super low, but you'll definitely get the style and the looks that you're going for.
We're ready to install the Gibson axleback. What's the first thing we do?
Basically, we're going to install it the opposite way we took the factory one off. So we're going to put the driver's side hanger in first into the rubber grommet, and then we're going to slide the head pipe onto the over axle pipe. And then the last step is getting the rear hanger on. The thing will pretty much be sitting by itself, and then we're going to fine tune, adjust it, and throw the tips on.
All right. That was easy enough.
Literally that simple. I mean, virtually almost falls together. So let's grab these tips. We're going to make sure the tips are going to, clear everything, make sure it's going to be positioned correctly before we tighten anything down. As you can see, there's still a lot of movement right here. So we want to take the necessary steps and time to be sure that everything is exiting the way we want it before we tighten anything down up front. Be careful you don't slide it on any further than you want. If it slides all the way on, it will scratch the ceramic coat and leave aggressive marks in the pipe. So just be wary of how far you put it on before you get it all the way in there. So here is the passenger side. Once we have it positioned, we're going to clamp it down. Let's grab a 1/2-inch wrench and a 1/2-inch ratchet. Okay, and now we're going to install the driver's side. Okay, so what we have right here is a 2.5-inch heavy-duty U-bolt clamp designed to actually attach the Gibson exhaust to your factory exhaust. It will in fact create a crease around the entire pipe, locking this thing on, so no matter how big of a jump or how hard you abuse it, if it's tightened down correctly, this thing will not fall off. So we're going to install it right up here. You want to be sure that once you have this thing up here, the clamp is going to be all the way towards the end of the Gibson exhaust. Anytime you utilize one of these U-bolt clamps, If you have this thing positioned down here towards that end, you're not aware of where this actual pipe is stopping in here. We're going to assume it's all the way to the end, but assumptions have never got me anywhere far. So we're going to go all the way to the very end of the pipe, so we know in fact that we're going to, when this clamp squeezes both of these pipes together, it's going to grab the factory pipe and our pipe at the same time. We're going to fire this thing up and let you guys hear what this thing sounds like. All right, guys, well, thanks for having me come out. It's been a pleasure here working with you guys. The hospitality is fantastic, and we really love that you guys support the brand. So where can everybody find this Gibson exhaust at?
You can find this Gibson exhaust along with other Gibson exhausts at cjponyparts.com.